Welcome to the Technical Foul Podcast. I'm your host, Manny Fresh, joined by my co-host, Jut. What up?
Chilling, man. What's good?
Nothing much, man. Getting ready for Turkey Day. Day, man.
Yes.
It's that special time of year.
I mean, that's the best day to eat, drink, and not do shit, and everyone's cool with it.
Definitely. It's my favorite holiday, man.
And to see family and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all that other overrated shit.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, man. But as we're talking today, and by the way, before we begin, we're gonna have a little bit of a disjointed podcast tonight. So I recorded about an hour and 15 minutes with Lucas last night, and I accidentally deleted like some of that shit. So yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, man. I had a little bit of a brain fart last night. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but long story short, I fucked it up. So second half of this show tonight is gonna have Lucas on it, and the first half is gonna have this light skinned nigga Jet on it. So we're doing.
Fuck up.
Hey man, don't interrupt me. So we're gonna have a two-part show here, man. We're gonna have Luke. We're gonna have Luke on the second half talking about college football because that's where our fucking conversation basically cut off at. And for real, that's like literally where our conversation cut off at. Like college, like right when we started the whole college football discussion. So it's all good though. But yeah, so we're gonna have two parts to this episode tonight. So but that's all good. But before we start, you know, I usually like to get together with my hosts a couple minutes or even a day before and just talk about the agenda of the show and whatnot. And we just talking, we catching up, we just describing what's going on, we vibing on what the show is going to be about and all that, right? And then we just get to talk about life, we just get to have small conversations. Long story short, this little nigga right here, my co-host for this evening, just told me that he's never watched Stranger Things or has no interest in watching Stranger Things.
Dog, why should I care about Stranger Things other than it being a popular show? I don't care to watch the fucking preteen version of Poltergeist.
First of all, you should watch fucking Stranger Things because it's a fucking good show. It's a great show. It's a really great show. And for you to call it the preteen version of Poltergeist, my nigga, that is blasphemy. That is blasphemous in this household. That's a low blow right there.
I'll get to it when I get to it. Did you finish Punisher?
I haven't started Punisher. I plan on starting Punisher this weekend. Well, because I plan on I've watched the first episode and then.
Oh, okay. So I saw you talking about the first episode. I thought you were watching it.
No, well, I started the first episode the night it came out, and then I was like, okay, I got to finish Stranger Things because I want to get that done and over with, season 2, and then I can focus my full attention to Punisher. Because, all right, so here's the thing with me: I hate binge watching. Like, I love binge watching, but I hate binge watching because I'm an old fogey, man. I'm an old 30-year-old dog. So you know me. I like the traditional way of watching television. You sit down, you watch. Your show comes on this night, and you go along with the journey for 20-something odd weeks, right? So I hate, the only reason I hate binge watching is because now, like for instance, Stranger Things Season 2. I finished watching that shit in basically 2.5 weeks, and now I'm fucked, because probably the next season will come out to 2019 at the latest of what I'm hearing, 2019. So I got a whole year, my nigga, a whole year and some change before I can watch one of my fucking favorite shows. So that's what's killing me right now. It's like, I like the format of binge watching, but I hate the format of binge watching at the same time. So that's why I try to take my time with shows. I try not to watch everything all at once. I try not to binge I know niggas that watch a fucking whole series in in a week.
Yeah, that's what I watched Punisher in 2-3 days.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't do that, and not because I don't want to. It's just I don't. Then I'm like, fuck,
once I start, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, and I've done that too. I've actually started shows, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take my time with it, and blah 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 blah. Because that's what happened with season 1 of Stranger Things. I started it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take my time with it. You know what I mean? Because my boy put me onto it originally, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take my time with it, and then I fucking finished it in literally a weekend. So I understand, I get it. But so so Punisher's on the docket for this weekend. I'm at least trying to finish 5 or 6 episodes of that before at least the season, before the weekend's over. I'm at least trying to finish I watched the first episode, so I'm trying to watch at least another 4 or 5 episodes. So that's the goal for this weekend. Whether it happens or not, who the fuck knows? But That's the goal.
Usually, like, what happens for me is, like, I'll, like, start watching my shows, like, if it's, like, on Netflix or whatever, like, or if it's on demand or something, like, I'll start watching it when I don't have shit else to do. So, like, I, like, rope it into, like, that's, like, my downtime. So I'll watch, like, a couple episodes here, a couple episodes there. You know what I mean? Because it's rare that I'll have, like, a big block of time to, like, really fully, like, binge watch a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. It's the same thing
So,
with me.
like, I got, like, we got a break from school or whatever. So, like, in between, like, I took, like, a day and I was like, all right, I'm not doing no schoolwork. I'm catching up on some sleep. And then I'll, like, deal with this shit later. So I was like, boom, let me start Punisher. And then, like, I watched a little bit of it the other day. And then, like, so I started, like, I forget when it even dropped because I can't even keep track of what
it came out. It came out last Thursday night. Well, Friday night. It came out.
Yeah, so I watched it. Yeah, I watched it over the weekend. I think so. And I think I just wrapped it up because I was, like, rotating that. I was watching Mindhunter on Netflix, which is so dope. I was watching that, and then I stopped that to watch Punisher because I knew it was gonna happen. Like, they could start spoiling stuff, you know what I'm saying? Start talking about stuff. So I'm like, oh damn, let me get on this so I don't, like, miss something, or, you know what I mean? Let me join the discussion too. Yeah. So boom, I start doing that, and then I got back to Mindhunter, which, like, I was, like, halfway through anyway, so it was, like, kind of a nice little break from it. Yeah. But I don't know, dog. Like, maybe I'll get to Stranger Things, like, over this break, because the only other thing that I have that I'm trying to watch is a lot of people who haven't heard of it. It's called Frontier with my guy Jason Momoa, Aquaman, Khal Drogo. You know what I'm saying? But I watched season 1 last year, and basically, like, it's like it takes place, I think, like, in the 1700s. It's, like, in Canada with, like fur trapping company. And then, like, how they're, like, taking over, like, the native land and all that shit. So it's, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's, like, the last of the Mohicans type setting, and, like, Momoa's, like, a half Native American, half Irish dude. But it's kind of dope. Like, they be getting busy on there, be fucking each other up and shit. So it was a nice little, like, different show to watch. You know what I mean? Like, instead of, like, the normal, like, big budget shows.
Right.
And so it's kind of got, like, some colonial era grit to it. So season 2, I think, is gonna drop in like a couple of days. I think it's coming out Friday. Okay. So I'll probably peep that, and then I think I'll get around to Stranger Things because I just started Mr. Robot on demand also. So I have, like, my shows that I'll watch, like, by myself, and then me and Michelle will watch shows together or whatever. So we just picked up Mr. Robot. So that shit is crazy.
Dog, I promise you will like Stranger Things. Like, I would never steer you wrong. I would never steer you wrong on a show. You know me enough. You know me well enough to know that I would never steer you wrong on a fucking show. That if I really knew you wasn't gonna fuck with a show, I'd be like, oh, this nigga's not gonna fuck with a show. Like, that's not his thing. He's not gonna really fuck with it. But it's like, I think you would like it. I think Michelle would like it too.
Probably. Oh, speaking of shows, those of y'all that have Netflix, if you're looking for new shows to watch, along with the one that I just said, yo, Peaky Blinders is one of the best TV shows on TV right now. That shit is so good. Like, it's a period piece, takes place in the 20s, and, like, it's got my man, Cillian Murphy. That's the dude that played, Scarecrow in Batman Begins.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's, like, the main, he's the main, he's the main character in this show. And it's, like, him and his brothers are, like, they're in a gang, basically, and yo, that shit is crazy. Like, they get busy. It's a BBC show, but Netflix picked it up. So right now there's 3 seasons on Netflix, and then the 4th season's going on right now over in the UK. And, like, people like myself find alternative ways to stream it legally, of course. But
of course, legally. We're not trying to indict nobody around here.
Of course not. Make sure everyone gets their
watching.
money.
The feds is watching or listening or both. But all right, so let's do this then. All right, if you start Stranger Things in the next month or so, right? I will watch a show that you recommend.
All right, bet.
Let's do that. All right. You gotta watch Stranger Things. I almost don't even
Everybody keeps telling me to watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch, dog. Like, I'm like, no bullshit. Not trying to, like, hype it up. It's a really good show. Like, it's a really, really good show. If you just like really good television, like, that's, I don't know how you cannot watch Stranger Things. Especially if you into, like, and the thing about Stranger Things is that, like, on the surface, it just seems like and it is, like, it's Goonies, but it's a mixture of Goonies and, like, coming of age type shit, but it's also, like, a sci-fi thriller rolled into one.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it, I think, a great fucking show, because it's like, it's got all these elements, plus it's like an homage to the 80s, so.
Yeah, I heard that too. People were saying, like, you'll like the 80s, like, vibe to it.
Yeah, because if you like 80s movies... So
it's, like, nostalgic.
Yeah, the nostalgia of it. So if you like a lot of 80s movies, so if you grew up on a lot of 80s science fiction, or mixed with a little Spielberg like we did, or I know at least I did, like, then you're definitely you're gonna like and get the show, because the references are clear as day. And the soundtrack is lit. So
yeah, I heard the soundtrack. I heard the soundtrack fire too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great show, man. I mean, I'm getting my wife hooked on it now, so it's a great fucking show, man. I recommend anybody who's looking to watch like great television shows like that. I mean, it's hard to escape Stranger Things. I mean, it's like the biggest show in the world right now. Like it is like the number one show out right now. Like, that's what everybody is fucking talking about, is fucking Stranger Things. Like, you gotta live under a fucking rock to not even know what it is or not watch it.
I guess I live under a rock.
Nigga, you live by a beach? Close enough, nigga. Shit. And Justice League, I did see Justice League. I know you was going to ask me about Justice League. I did see it. Well, I want to get your opinions first before I tell you.
All right. You know what? Surprisingly, I enjoyed it. I thought, like, some of it, like, I honestly, like, all right, so first things first, Ben Affleck, I don't like him as fucking Batman. Like,
really?
I don't. This is the crazy thing about it. All right, so I like Affleck playing Bruce Wayne. Like, all the Bruce Wayne scenes, I like it. Like, because this is the part of Bruce Wayne's career where he's, like, getting washed up, he's banged up, he's fucked up all the time from years of being Batman, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You know what I mean? But him as Batman, I don't know. When I see Batman in a suit, I feel like I'm watching Ben Affleck in a Batman suit. Like, I'm not watching Batman. And the suit was trash too in this movie too.
Yeah, the suit was trash.
Like,
I don't like
the suit. The
suit was trash in the last movie. The suit was trash in the last movie. I didn't like it in fucking Batman v Superman. I didn't fucking like that. I didn't like the fucking suit. I hate the fucking small ears. Like, I hate the fucking suit. I hate the suit.
And they were going out of their way in this movie to make the cape seem like a thing. And I'm like, dog, you can't force the cape. Like, the opening scene, I literally rolled my eyes and was like, digger.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I was like, he was standing still and the cape was moving around by itself. I'm like, it ain't that fucking windy.
Yeah, I feel you. I know what you're talking about. But overall, though, you liked it.
All that beside, but I liked it, dog. I thought some of the dialogue between some of the characters was stronger than other characters. Like, there was a big trade off in some of the scenes. I honestly didn't care for. I thought the Superman story was, like, really weird. Like, it was cool, like, how they set it up. Like, you know what I mean? Superman was, like, spoiler alerts,
yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, too bad. But, like, it was all right. Like, they had, like, the whole world mourning for Superman, and I thought that was really cool. You know what I'm saying? But, like, then, like, when they were deciding, like, all right, we gotta bring this nigga back. Bruh, Superman, weird. Like, how Superman died, but when he come back, he's handing everybody the fade. Like, that didn't. Like, they just made it too, like, boom, Superman come back, bow, 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 fucking niggas up left and right. But, like, dog, if he was really about that action the first time, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That kind of bothered me a little bit, and, like, the whole thing with, like, his mom and Lois, like, that shit was trash.
Yeah. So overall, you liked everything about the film except for a few elements, I guess. Is what I'm taking. Like, you liked a lot of the elements of the film. You just a lot of
like, I thought all the Wonder Woman scenes were dope. She killed it. Gal Gadot killed it. My guy Momoa, I'm pumped for this is the first time in history it's ever been recorded, but I'm actually, like, excited for a standalone Aquaman movie.
Yeah, I agree.
That shit, if they do it the same way, hopefully with a better fucking director, but if they do it the same way, like, real gritty like that, and, like, he's troubled and, like, a borderline alcoholic, like, I'm here for it.
I completely agree.
How did you feel about the Flash in this movie?
Well, let me get to my overall thoughts on the film. So, I'm like you. I liked it. I don't understand the hate that this movie got. Like, people will talk about this shit like it's the worst fucking movie ever. The DCU is terrible. It's done. They just need to give up. Blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I really don't understand that. Like, I don't get that. Like, what am I missing that makes this movie so hated? And I mean, look, it had its fucking problems. I'm not gonna sit here and try to fucking, be on fucking DCU's payroll. Like, these niggas have issues. They have issues with their films, and I think the issues are correctable, which is what makes it more frustrating. Because it's like, I think the issues are correctable, but I just think they just do stupid shit with their films. Like, they've before I even get to that. That being said, I don't understand the hatred and the vitriol this fucking film got. Like, and you know what I hate? It's like, all right, we get it. Marvel has done a better job of fucking doing their movies, promoting their movies, basically creating their own cinematic universe. Everybody understands that. Marvel is king. Nobody's fucking with Marvel when it comes to fucking comic book live action films. That's long been fucking established. But people fucking act like everything Marvel does, it's just fucking gold. No. Marvel has a lot of fucking duds out there. A lot
they
of fucking
some duds.
Like, all right,
every
so
Iron Man except for one.
So Justice League, as many fucking problems as Justice League had, Justice League is way better than the first two Thor movies, in my opinion. It's not fucking with Ragnarok, but it's definitely better than fucking Thor 1 and 2.
I liked Thor 1.
I like Thor 1. I like Thor 1, but let's admit, I mean,
think it's close.
That's one of the lesser Marvel entries if we're being serious. I think it's better than Thor 1 and 2, and that's just my opinion. It's better than 1 and 2. I think it's better than Ant-Man. I think it's better than Iron Man 2 and 3. I think it's better than Iron Man 2 and 3.
There's a lot of shit better than Iron Man 3.
It's better than any Hulk movie. And I like the 2008 Hulk movie with Edward Norton, but it's better than that. Like, it's better than a lot of Marvel. It's better than a lot of X-Men movies. If we want to go there, it's better. It's better than Last Stand.
We could open up that door
it's better than Last Stand. It's better than It's better than Apocalypse. It's better than I think First Class is overrated, me personally. But
low key, this might sound like a hot take, but I actually enjoyed Justice League more than I enjoyed Avengers 2.
Yeah. I mean, Age of Ultron was disappointing because I think they tried. It's like they tried to Age of Ultron. They tried
very hard.
Well, the problem with Age of Ultron was that it was basically like an in-between film, and it was like an in-between film because they were trying to set up everything else but fucking Age of Ultron. It's like, it literally, that Age of Ultron felt like it served no purpose. Like, why did you even tell this story? Like, I mean, I get why they told the story because they were trying to get the Civil War, but it just felt like it was too much of a setup to get the Civil War instead of telling its own story. And that was the problem I had with fucking Age of Ultron. It was like, and for the record, that's the problem I've had with Dawn of Justice. I've had a problem with a lot of comic book movies that use the film that they're in as a setup to get to something else, at least instead of focusing on a central fucking story. And I hate that. And I think that's the problem with this film. The problem with I'll get to the things I like first. I disagree with you. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I agree the suit fucking sucks, but overall I think he does a really good job. He's no Christian Bale, he's no Michael Keaton, but I think he's a very good Batman. So I'll put that out there. Gal Gadot is the best. She's just a shit. There's no more that needs to be said. She's Wonder Woman. Like, she's Wonder Woman. That's it. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
She's the embodiment.
She's the embodiment of Wonder Woman. God, that woman is fucking. But anyway, I love her. I love her performance as Wonder Woman. She's great in this film. Doesn't have much to do, but she's great.
I thought that. Hold on, real quick. I thought, like, she has her lines, but I thought her character was, like, really important. Like,
she was the glue that held everybody together.
Yeah, and I really like that, like, because it wasn't the, like, cliche woman in the group. And I thought that was a really dope thing.
I agree.
That they did like, make it like, oh, okay, you're here to look good and, like, occasionally do stuff. But she had, like, a key role in, like, pushing everybody.
And I like how they didn't try to shoehorn a romance between her and Bruce. Like it's implied.
Or like, some kind of, like, unwritten spark with her and fucking
I mean, there's
Superman.
a spark. I mean, you can tell that there's a spark between them. And obviously, if you read the comics, you know Wonder Woman and Batman have a history, obviously. So, I mean, there's clearly a spark there. But I'm glad they had enough common sense, I guess, to not shoehorn in there. Because then I think that would have really made the movie bad. Like, she's fucking Bruce, and then she's going through all these emo issues with Bruce, and blah, blah, I think it was implied, but they didn't kind of go full bore with it, and I like that.
They didn't, like, go heavy-handed with it.
Yeah, exactly. They left it up for your own kind of imagination. Like, you can kind of tell, like, she likes him, and he's definitely into her. I mean, I don't know, he'd be gay if he wasn't. But, so, you know, so they they kind of implied that they have an attraction for each other, but they weren't heavy-handed like you said, and they didn't kind of tip their hand one way or another. So they left a little bit of ambiguity. I can't pronounce that fucking word. They left a little bit of ambiguity. I can't pronounce that fucking word. I'm not gonna say it. They left a little bit to the imagination anyway. So yeah, I like what they did there. Jason Momoa, I completely agree with you. My God, I never thought I would fucking find Aquaman fucking cool, but that nigga was the.
Yo, he low key stole the show, I think.
Yeah, I think he stole the show. The problem with him was he wasn't on screen long enough. Like, I wanted more of him. Like, I liked him the best out of every other character. Like, I thought Jason Momoa's scenes when he was on there, I thought he was great. I thought he stole the show. The little bit of scenes that he was in there, I completely agree with you. He was great in the film. I don't think he had enough in there. Like, I don't know. I was a little disappointed because I wanted more of Aquaman. And even that felt disjointed because it was like they were trying to tell his... The problem with this film is they shoehorned and rushed through everybody's backstory, and that's the problem.
I think they went too far into Superman and his little side story than there's time that they could have gone. Because, like, you kind of know, like, I guess the producers and stuff, they go in with the assumption that you know Wonder Woman's story because you saw the movie.
Yeah, you know Batman,
Flash,
obviously.
Like, you know a little bit of Flash's story, but, like, I feel like they really rushed Cyborg's part,
did.
And they really didn't go into... Like, they did, like, passing references when Aquaman went back to Atlantis. And I was like, dog, y'all couldn't make this scene, like, another minute or two longer so that you can, like, get, like, a little bit of understanding why he is the way that he is right now? Like,
yeah.
Instead of just showing scenes with fucking Superman flying to bumfuck Kansas to go back to his old crib.
I hate Lois Lane, by the way. I hate
She's so whack.
I hate Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I just think she's terrible.
She's like very
I like Amy Adams as an actress, but I can't stand her as Lois Lane.
She's like robotic in this movie.
She's just blocked. She has no. And why is she even in it? Like she serves no purpose. I get why she's in it, but she shouldn't have been in it. It's like, okay,
bro, they could have cut her scenes down when she's like talking to Clark's mom and stuff.
Yeah, in the fucking cafeteria and shit.
Whatever. Like, have her sitting behind a desk like typing stories. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I agree with you.
It serves no purpose.
Yeah, I
show my guy Momoa pounding more bottles of whiskey.
Exactly.
Like, that would have been more entertaining.
Agree.
You know what I mean?
I completely agree. Yeah, they could have cut that shit the whole. Yeah.
And bro, why they make Flash like a clumsy ass like teenager?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't.
They act like he couldn't fight at all.
I didn't like that. I did. You know what they tried to do with Flash? They tried to make him Tom Holland Spider-Man. That's what they tried to do, and it was so fucking obvious, and it was a blatant fucking ripoff. Like I was just like, oh, okay, I get it now. He's Tom Holland playing Spider-Man. Like unassuming,
he was
young.
funny at times.
I mean, he was
but, like
he was hit or miss for me. Like some of the jokes landed, some of the jokes didn't. Like I was just like, okay. Like I actually liked the byplay him and Superman had. I really liked that. I thought they had some chemistry. So I thought the race, the post credit scene with him and Superman racing, that was funny.
That was pretty cool.
I liked some of the action scenes he was in. I mean, again, he was more hit or miss for me. Like some of the things he did was really good. Some of the things he did didn't really do anything for me. I thought the fucking comedy was really hit or miss for me. Like it was just like some of the jokes landed, and I was just like, okay, that wasn't that funny. Like it was cute, but it wasn't funny. Like, all right, whatever. Let's move on. But he was the Tom Holland role basically, and I caught that from the opening. From the opening when he was in it, from the beginning when he was first introduced, I caught that shit. Like, oh, okay, we got our Tom Holland Spider-Man Homecoming knockoff. I didn't like that performance because Flash is cool. Flash is a shit talker. Flash is like brash and cocky.
Like he's
arrogant.
cocky.
Exactly. That's Flash. This kind of geeky, unassuming, bumbling, stumbling Flash. I just didn't like it. It just kind of, it was just like it was cartoonish.
It was funny. It was put it like this. I enjoyed it when they first introduced him, and he had like this dry, like teenage, like kind of like asshole sense of humor as like a teenager. But then like they dragged it on too long because when it's time for him to fight, he's like fighting, and you're like, oh cool, my man Flash is getting his scrapes in or whatever. But then like he would trip. And I'm like, bro, why y'all doing this to him?
Exactly, man? Yeah. It's like they're making Flash look really bad, man. I love fucking Flash, man. I'm like, come on, dude. You fucking up Flash, right? But overall, I thought he did a good job. I mean, I just think the characterization was bad. I don't think that. I didn't like that characterization as a whole. I think they should have made him a little bit more of a badass.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, another thing that just reminded me, like, while you were talking, is that, like, I didn't like how they made Cyborg just like the computer guy.
Well, if you read a lot of the shit that's going on the internet, they have massive reshoots and rewriting for this fucking film. Obviously, Zack Snyder had to pull out of the project because of his fucking daughter passing away. So they brought in Whedon, and he changed up a lot of the shit. I think originally, spoiler alert. Well, that's not so much of a spoiler now, but Cyborg was supposed to be the mother box. It was supposed to be and because there was that scene where he just brings the mother box like in, like it was just random. Like, oh hey, I got the mother box. Like, okay, that's just weird and random. Like all these other boxes were all over the fucking place, all over the earth. You know, one was in Atlantis, one was in fucking, you know, with the Amazonians, you know, and all of a sudden, just this nigga's walking around with a fucking mother box. Like, okay, that's just random.
Yo, the scenes from the Amazon scenes when they rolled up in the...
That was the best scene in the movie. That, to me, was the best fight scene in the movie.
That shit was so wild.
It was dope. I mean, and I know people were killing Steppenwolf as a shitty villain. I mean, it wasn't horrible.
He was okay.
He was all right. I mean, he's no Heath Ledger, of course, but I mean,
I feel like he got beat too easy.
Yeah, he did get beat too easy.
Because this is my problem with I feel like the pacing of the movie was really far off. Like it was kind of like a little slow developing at first, and then it like hit its stride for a while, and then like you had Aquaman and Wonder Woman like really going toe to toe with this dude. Like, because Wonder Woman went and did something or else. And Aquaman was actually, like, going blow for blow with him for a little while. And then Superman comes out and it's like, boom,
Superman fucked him up.
I'm like, dog, y'all
Superman really did
like,
fuck him.
I feel like they were like, somebody, like, pulled out the Wrap It Up box from Chappelle's show and was like, yo, we gotta get this fucking show on the road here. It was like, and it makes sense that they were having issues, you know, production-wise with it. So that does make sense, but it's just like, I feel like it's disappointing that this movie should be on par with the Avengers. You know what I mean? Like, as much as it was, like, touted to be, like, all this time, and, like, a lot of DC fans, you know, always find a problem with Marvel, and they always, you know, want to move the goalposts. And, I mean, you could really say that with any type of quote-unquote rivalry.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
But, like, a lot of DC fans are looking stupid now because, like, there's some dudes on my timeline that really ride hard for DC. Now they look like dickheads because they're like, oh, you know.
Well, you can ride hard for the fucking. Well, you can ride hard because you know, like everybody knows, DC Comics has the better comic book heroes than fucking Marvel. That's always been the truth. No one's ever debating that. I think that's what frustrates people. It's like we have the better characters. We have the better characters. It's just
Marvel was able to take a few characters and like kind of reinvent them using like the star power.
Definitely reinvent them. But they just
started
it
Robert
first.
Downey Jr.
They started it
Iron
first.
Man and that.
They just started it first. They executed it better and first. And when you start the shit first, it's hard to be dethroned from the shit. Like they just got a quicker advantage over it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, like
I feel
DC,
like
you have Batman.
Behind,
you have the greatest superhero ever created. You have Batman, and you still can't develop a fucking decent enough fucking cinematic universe. Like I just don't understand it. Like I don't get it. Like it's just But I don't think it has anything to do with the characters. Or even the actors that they cast to play. Because I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he's a very good Superman. I do. And I'll admit, I liked his... I think the storyline was a little bit much, but once they finally got to Superman being reborn or rebirthed or energized, whatever you want to call it, or brought back from the dead, reincarnated, whatever. I like that scene where he's like, he doesn't know what to make of them. He's fighting them. Like, oh, you're gonna fucking do a Superman's kind of on the fence here. Like, I like that. I like that play between them. And then it was just kind of like it was over. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the only thing I didn't like about it. But I thought, honestly, this is the best Superman has looked in this entire cinematic universe so far. In this new, since Man of Steel, this is the best it's looked.
Yeah, they've dropped some serious, I mean, Batman vs. Superman was a dud.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And like, it just, I haven't liked the Superman movies. I just feel like they go out of their way to make Superman campy. And it's like, why couldn't someone make a Superman, like, the whole over like, arcing theme that they were trying to make with, like, Batman Superman versus Superman being, like, really dark and, like, the way that they were really trying to portray that in the trailers. Yeah. But, like, why couldn't they make something like that as the overall theme? Like, Superman is struggling with literally with his humanity and all of this stuff. Like, very much like how Nolan redid the Batman series, where it made it gritty. It made him internalize a lot of the shit that he was going through. It made him, like, really personable and showing him struggling with demons and things like that. Like, you mean to tell me everything in fucking Metropolis is all hunky-dory? Like, stop making out Superman to just be above everything. Like, if they made Superman a little bit more human, I think it would make for a better film.
I agree. And I'll say it to this day, they should have paid whatever fucking money they had. I mean, they should have emptied out the fucking bank, brought back Nolan.
Bruh, it was
basically let Nolan...
$300 million.
Let Nolan just run the entire cinematic universe. Let him pick directors that he wants, people that he wants to work with. I get he may not want to direct every fucking film, but let him pick people that he wants to work with. I know he had production credit in Man of Steel, and I think I don't think in Batman v Superman, but I know in Man of Steel. And so I get it. He has some slight involvement, but let him basically run the entire cinematic universe and let Batman be the boilerplate. Like, let the Dark Knight series be the boilerplate, and just go from there. You've got the potential, and you've got great movies, because Wonder Woman was a great film. It was a great film.
Yeah, they let a woman run the show, and look what happened.
And then they dropped the ball, because then they couldn't capitalize on the momentum of that shit, so they dropped that fucking ball.
Yep. Yeah. Bro, they said, like, it made, I think the last I saw, it didn't even, I know it definitely didn't crack 100 million. It was at, like, hovering, like, 93 mil, which is pretty rough, I feel like. Just, like, if you look at the budget for that movie, it's 300 million, to make a movie. Yeah. Which is mind-blowing if you think about it. But, like, now you're coming into the holidays. I just think that maybe they dropped it at a bad time. I feel like they should have waited until next week, because Thor just dropped.
Yeah.
Like, space it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for me, the other day, I got out of class early, and I was like, Michelle took Sully to work with her, and I was like, I don't gotta go home to, like, walk Sully or anything, so fuck it, I'll just go to the movies. And I was like, damn, do I want to see Thor or do I want to see Justice League? And I was like, let's go see what Justice League is hitting for, because I literally hadn't heard any reviews, nothing, and so I went in, like, completely blind. And I do think, like, to your point earlier about, like, how poor, like, the DC universe has been at, like, live action movies, I feel like that definitely, like, because if you never saw it, right, and you hit me up and you're like, yo, dog, like, did you see Justice League, da-da-da, and if I didn't like it, I'm like, nah, dog, that shit was a dub. And you're like, well, damn, yeah, Batman vs Superman was trash, Suicide was fucking a dumpster fire, so I think I'm gonna pass on this. Like, I really think that has a lot to do with, like, people don't want to get burned again for their $15.
I agree. I think it has a lot to do with it. I think it has a lot to do. But yeah, let's
I think
move
it's watchable. I think it's watchable. Like,
it's watchable.
I gave like a 7.5, 8.
I'm not gonna go that high. I give it a 6. It's solid. But I think that's the disappointing part. This is Justice League. It should have been a solid. It should have been more than that. It should have been great. That's what it should have been. It should have been great. You should have been talking about this movie like, oh, this is a solid 9.5. Like, but it isn't. Right. And that's the problem. It should be
blowing everything. It should be, this is supposed to be their key. This is supposed to be their fucking Paramount movie. This is their keynote. This is their pinnacle. And I just feel like honestly, they're going to have to reboot now. Like, they may be able to, like, salvage with Momoa and Gal Gadot, like, they might be able to salvage those two characters as Aquaman, as Wonder Woman. But if Aquaman doesn't have a good showing, then I think it's going to be a wrap for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. So.
But I think Aquaman's going to do, I don't know if it's going to quite do Wonder Woman numbers, but I think like, even though I would, like you said, like, would have liked to see him have more screen time, I think in a way it's best that they don't. That way you don't get too much of the character story. That way when they drop the movie, I think was it next year, you'll have, like, clear expectations and you don't have the fucking stink from this movie on it.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So I think maybe that was like a little bit of a strategic thing. And I thought, like, on a side note, like before we wrap it up, like I was like real worried about how the underwater scenes were gonna look, and them shits look so wild to me. I was like, yo, this is gonna be crazy.
The underwater scene was pretty cool. I mean, that's the thing. It had good moments. It just can't come together all the way. It's just like, fuck. Man.
Yeah.
That's what I wrap it up with. It's just like, it's good, but it's not what it should be. And that's the fucked up part. That's the fucking disappointing part. It's like, it's good, but it should be more than that. It should be more than just, it's good. It's okay. It's average. It's tolerable. It's like, that's even worse. Because at least if it's bad, you could say, oh, it's fucking trash. But it's like, when it's just like, in the middle, it's like,
nah.
Exactly.
That's like on The Wire when they're talking about 40-degree days.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Same shit. But let's talk about some sports before we get up out of here, man. Yeah.
Well, the main thing we're going to talk about is just this whole Trump-LeVar Ball situation. I'm going to shut the fuck up and I'm going to let you talk. Because what you think of this whole fucking situation, man?
The shit's so stupid. First of all, like, everybody that listens to us knows how we feel about fucking Cheeto and Chief. I just, like, I'm so over it, dog. Like, there's no reason. This is the thing, right? Why is it that when fucking Ron Perlman, Eminem, what's that chick's name that used to, Alyssa Milano? Yeah. Why is it that when these people are talking wild reckless about Trump, Eminem was on national TV with his middle fingers up saying, fuck Trump.
Basically.
Donald says nothing. But Marshawn Lynch wants to sit for the American national anthem, stand for the Mexican national anthem. LeVar Ball doesn't say thank you to fucking Trump for releasing those, getting those kids out of jail or whatever. I don't even know. Trump probably had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no one Trump. Yeah, probably.
I'm sure he did, because he doesn't do shit but golf and touch women. But allegedly.
And commit treason. You forgot that one.
Yeah. But, like, why is it that it's a problem with, like, everything is demonized, like, and we all know why, but I'll just leave that up to the imagination so I don't have to go right out and say it. But this is the thing. Why is it 5 o'clock in the fucking morning and there's still so many issues that are going on? We still have a power crisis in Puerto Rico. We still have, today was the fucking anniversary of Kennedy getting assassinated. Why couldn't you tweet up use your 280 characters saying something nice about JFK? He was transcendent president, blah, 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 blah. Good guy, da-da-da, whatever. Say something nice. Put a fucking fluff piece like every other president has done at some point in a press release, tweet, penned an article, given an interview, whatever. And you have they magically found the remains of Sergeant Johnson when his funeral was a month ago.
Right.
All these things that he could be explaining. But no, he wants to talk about LeVar Ball and his kids. But on the flip side of that, I saw a tweet earlier that somebody estimated that Big Baller Brand got the equivalent of like $16 million in free marketing because of this ongoing back and forth with Trump.
Of course it did.
And on the flip side of this whole thing, I'm tired of people in the black community calling LeVar Ball. I'm tired of it.
Who's called him a coon? Like, I haven't heard anybody call him a coon.
I've seen mad people call him.
Seriously, I've never. I mean, I've heard people call him everything else, like stupid, retarded, ignorant, whatever. But I've never heard them call him a coon.
Yep. And it makes me wonder. I'm like, damn, you got niggas that are in the sunken place thinking that other people are in the sunken place. Like, here's a guy that is, he has 3 talented kids. Their levels of talent vary compared to their peers, but he has 3 talented boys that all 3 of them are going to go to school for free.
Yeah, basically.
He's got a clothing brand based off of these boys that if it does okay, they won't have to play basketball. They have jobs if they don't make it in basketball. As a parent, the thing that you want is to have a legacy for your children. And here he is doing it, and people want to say, oh, he's this, he's that, he's making a living off the backs of his kids. But so is everybody else. So is every fucking college coach in the United States of America are making a living off the backs of teenagers. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay when parents have their kids in Hollywood making money and exploiting their money and taking advantage of that money. But that's okay. But if a man like LeVar Ball does it and he's not quiet about it, then it wants to be a problem because he shakes the table because he doesn't give a fuck what you think about him. Then it's a problem. That's my whole thing with it. Like, it's really 2-3-fold with the whole LeVar Ball thing. And at first I was like, damn, LeVar is like a loud, annoying dude. But like, if you really think about it, LeVar is just an opportunist. You can't be mad at that. If somebody's gonna put a microphone in my face every time I think I want to say something, and they're gonna pay me for it, you best believe I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, you're saying everything that I could have said myself. I mean, I completely agree with you. My whole situation,
but it's just wild that the president of the United States, dog, the quote unquote leader of the free world, is spending his time tweeting a parent. A middle-aged parent.
A nobody. In the grand scheme of things. That's the thing that gets me. A nobody. Like, these people are nobodies in comparison to your stature and current time. Like, this is the thing that gets me, right? And look, we've talked about LeVar on this show many times. I'm not going to even get into that because I feel like it's retreading an old fucking record.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of LeVar, but I know what LeVar is. Like you said, he's an opportunist. LeVar is a Kardashian, basically. He's trying to make money by just being known. That's what he's trying to do. People already figured him out. He's a guy that's going to say outlandish shit. He's not going to give a fuck. He's going to be unfeathered and unfiltered. So people are going to run to him for quotes and sound bites. Yeah. And that's what it is. And
nigga, if I could be famous for doing nothing, where do I sign up?
Exactly. I get a kick out of him. Now, again, I think a lot of the shit that he says is kind of stupid. I think a lot of the shit that sometimes he does say are kind of smart. So I go in between sometimes on a lot of shit that he does and says. Like, of course, saying that he's better than fucking Michael Jordan when he averaged 4 points a game or 1.4 a game or whatever the fuck his scoring average was. Like, come on, dude. You sound stupid. Like, you sound ignorant. Like, you sound retarded. And that's what makes people hate him. But he also does a lot of smart shit. He's a fucking master manipulator. He's fucking a marketing genius if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he does a lot of smart shit. You may not agree with it, but he does a lot of smart shit. That being said, Agent Orange, Mango Unchained. The thing that pisses me off is that you're fucking tweeting at 5 a.m. to a person that's insignificant to your life. Okay, what in a perfect world should LeVar had been more thankful of Donald Trump, whether he had something to do with it or not? Who fucking knows? I don't know. I don't think he did shit, but look, it was more of the State Department than it was actually Donald Trump. But whatever. Be that as it may. Should he have been at least more thankful and more humble and whatever of the Trump administration? Probably. In a perfect world, yeah, probably. Would it have killed him to do it? Probably not. Get it over with. Say, hey, thank you, Mr. President, blah, 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 whatever your involvement was, whatever aspect of your involvement it was, thank you to you and your administration. And be done with it. Should he have said that? Probably. But if he didn't, who fucking cares? Is your life over? Is your presidency over? Is your legacy as a man, as a president, as whatever it is that you want to get out of this job that hopefully you don't have for much longer, like whatever it is that you want to accomplish, is that ruining that? No. Like you said, we have so many fucking issues in this country. We have so many things going on. Forget the major shit. I mean, forget the international shit. Just domestic shit. Puerto Rico still has no fucking power. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Obamacare, they're trying to fucking rip apart by the day. You got a fucking tax.
They're trying to roll back net neutrality.
Exactly. You got a tax plan that's trying to fucking put more money in the pockets of rich fucking billionaires, his golf buddies and his clan rallies. So of course, like all these things that are going on, and you fucking worrying about LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball is just shit stain on the underwear of life compared to you. Like, you are the president of the United States. You are the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief of the United States of America and the military. Like, why are you even focused on LeVar Ball, whether he apologizes, doesn't apologize, whether he writes you a Christmas card, doesn't write you a... Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's inconsequential. It has nothing to do with your life. Get over it. But no, of course not. And then, of course, today he fucking compares him to Don King. Like, dude, just, like, stop. You're a fucking man-child, bro. Like, grow up. Like, you're 70 years old, B. Like, you're 70. Like, it's not like this nigga's 45. And even at 45, that shit is unacceptable. You're a grown-ass man, but you're 70, my dude. 70. You're beyond the OG. Like, you should be above this shit. But you just are petty. You're a fucking child. And you just act like a fucking big-ass orange toddler. Like, stop. Like, you're fucking... He's a big, mean guy. To the left is Kid and Dale. He's a big, mean... Black. I'm going to compare him to Don King, another ignorant nigger. Like, because that's what basically the connotation
That's basically what he's saying.
I mean, basically. I mean...
Bro, I'm tired of this narrative where these older, wealthy, conservative people say that black athletes and black celebrities, entertainers, whatever, should be grateful that they're famous or grateful that they did this and grateful. Nobody says that to fucking Taylor Swift. Nobody says Taylor Swift should just be happy her ass is famous. Nobody says that shit.
For fucking for being in different relationships.
What's that?
For being in different relationships and making breakup music, like nobody says that to her. I get it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's saying that shit. Like nobody fucking says that to fucking George Clooney. Hey George, blah blah blah. Like nobody said that to fucking Charlie Sheen. Like Charlie Sheen, oh I have HIV. Well, you should be happy you're famous and you got money that you can pay for the shit. Nobody says that. But let LeVar Ball or let fucking some celebrity, like Colin Kaepernick, speak out about something. Oh, you should be lucky you're a millionaire. Oh, because you're not following in line with what Master tells you to do. Then all of a sudden it's a problem. Exactly. But everyone else can go about their business, say what they want to do, what they want to do. Like that's what bothers me. And it's not everybody. Before y'all come hopping in everybody's
it's not everybody.
It's definitely not.
No, it's not everybody.
It's nobody. It's really nobody that listens to this show. But it's people in certain positions that feel like why shouldn't everybody just be happy they're in the position that they're in? Why does it have to be a certain sect of people that should be grateful? So therefore they shouldn't say anything. Like, oh yeah, they basically, because when I hear that shit, it's like, hey, we let you off the plantation. You should be happy we did that for you.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
We let y'all vote. We let you vote.
We let you make millions and billions of dollars in this country. Just shut up. Do what you're good at. Bounce your ball and don't make a scene. Don't upset Massa. That's what the fuck the problem is. But when people start upsetting the apple cart and making white people, and not white people, rich white people, billionaires, uncomfortable and feel some type of way. Oh, you're upsetting the natural order. Oh, you're speaking out of pocket. Who the fuck are you? Blah 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 blah. It's annoying, man. I don't even want to talk about it anymore because it's just infuriating, man. It's just.
Hey, dog. I got something that'll cheer you up. Yo, this nigga Joel Embiid is so funny, dog. Like,
he's funny. I wish he played more games, but he's funny.
Yo, he's been hooping this year, though.
He's hooping. He killed my Lakers. I know that.
But, yo, this nigga said, he made, like, a joke about being, like, 69% or something, and Jalen Rose said, he was, like, that it was unprofessional. This nigga was on ESPN and said he's 81% now.
Oh, man.
Like, yes. Yo,
I mean, he's a savage. I get a kick out of him, too. I just wish, big man, I just want you to play more games, okay? I just want you to play more games. He talks a lot of shit for a guy that really hasn't done a lot in the league. So that's my only issue with. That's my only issue with Joel. Like, Joel, play 75 games. Play 75 games. Get your team to at least an 8th seed. And then you can tweet and talk shit and yell and scream and hoop and dance and giggle and do whatever. And show up the Astros games with Dodgers jerseys even though you play for the Sixers. I mean, all that shit. All the shit that you want to do, you can do all of it. Just, play 75 games. 75 games. Nigga, play 65 games. And you can talk that shit. That's the only issue. But I like Joel Embiid. I mean, he's a fucking monster. I mean, he's
they took him off the minutes restriction, so he's good to go.
Yeah, he's good to go now. I saw that. They took him off the minute.
Like, he can stay healthy because he's, like, low-key dominant.
No, not low-key. He is dominant. Like, it's not even low-key. It's dominant. Like, he's fucking unguardable, especially in the low block.
Yeah, that nigga is nice, man. But I just felt like I had to lighten it up a little bit. But, like, he's, like, a really, like, he's a fucking, like, elite troll. And I love it. Like, there's
troll level 1000.
Yes, absolutely. There's, like, no qualms about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, man.
They had this nigga Cardell Jones out here, like, talk. That's the nigga that be talking, like, wild, crazy, and not ever doing shit.
Is this nigga still in the league?
I think he played for the Chargers now or some shit like that.
Wasn't he in Buffalo?
He was. I think they traded his ass. Or he got cut because all he does is throw the ball far. That's all he can do.
I like Cardell Jones when he was coming out of Ohio State. I mean, he's better than JT Barrett. That's for fucking sure. But that's not saying much. I'm better than JT Barrett. But yeah, I didn't even know Cardale Jones was still.
Cardale Jones is like basically Jamarcus Russell reincarnated.
Without the issues, he's Jamarcus Russell without the issues. Basically, is what he is.
He's Jamarcus Russell without the fucking double cup of lean.
Yeah, true, because this nigga Jamarcus Russell came into the league thinking he was fucking on some Pimp C shit. Like, nigga, who was you? This nigga thought he was on some DJ Screw shit. Like, dog, what is you doing?
The furs on and everything.
You was a quarterback, my nigga. Like, you can't come up in here on no DJ Screw shit. Like, bruh, chill out, nigga. You extra right now. Like, you mad extra. Like, yo, come on, B. Like, this nigga came up in here fat, overweight, drinking lean. Like, dog, you're really on some DJ Screw shit. Like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Yeah, the Chargers traded for him back in the summertime.
That's how inconsequential Cardale Jones' career has been. That I didn't even know he was on the fucking Chargers. Like, I was just completely like, oh, I thought he was still on the Bills.
This nigga's, his career passing rating is 46.
Jesus Christ. He makes Geno Smith look like Warren Moon.
Hold on, that can't be right. Dog, it says on Wikipedia, I don't know how true this is.
And it's wiki.
But it says he's only thrown for 96 yards.
Well, he hasn't played much. I don't think he's started a game. He hasn't started.
He's only thrown 11 career passes. That's wild.
Yeah. Like I said, he hasn't played much. I know that for sure. He hasn't played much. Yeah,
so. He was like the third string behind it. Was Tyrod, what's that nigga from Florida State? EJ Manuel.
Yeah.
Who was a fucking scrub.
One of the worst fucking quarterbacks, and I knew that nigga was going to be trash. I knew EJ Manuel was going to be fucking trash. Niggas was trying to hype him up like, oh, EJ Manuel's going to be good. EJ Manuel was fucking trash.
This nigga's name is Eric Rodriguez Manuel Jr.
And he plays like Eric Rodriguez Manuel Jr. He plays like that nigga. Exactly.
The nigga sound like
the way it sounds is exactly how he plays.
He sound like a shortstop for the fucking.
He sounds like a shortstop for the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, for the fucking
for the Long Island Ducks. For the Long Island Ducks, nigga, he plays independent ball. Oh shit,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
But yo, man, we gonna get up out of here, man. We spent all our time talking about Stranger Things and fucking Justice League, but it's all good, man.
Real quick, speaking of the Bills, real quick, they're stupid. I hope they don't win anything else.
Yeah, I flame them on the next segment with Lucas, so that's why I'm gonna save my thoughts on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I flamed them because that was one of the worst fucking. All I'm gonna say is if Sean McDermott coached in New York City, the real New York City, not that off-brand shit in Buffalo. The real New York City, the 5 fucking boroughs. If he coached in New York City, Sean McDermott would have lost his job Monday morning. Because that fucking stunt that he pulled this past week put in Nathan fucking Peterman over Tyrod Taylor. And I'm no Tyrod Taylor fan. I trust me, I'm no Tyrod Taylor fan. I know what he is. But to put Nathan Peterman, a 5th-round rookie who clearly wasn't ready to play, to throw him out there to the fucking Wolves on the road against a very good defense. Come on, man. You deserve to get fired. Whoever made that decision needs to be fired. Fired on the spot. Like I would be Monday morning. I'm coming into the office like, hey, come in. Yeah, don't even worry about your desk. Don't worry about your desk. Come on here. That would have been the issue. So. Yeah, I'll talk about that on the next segment, though. Yeah,
like I said, Tyrod Taylor is a poor man's Jeff Garcia.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? This is the reason that the Buffalo Bills are the only team in the NFL that haven't made the playoffs this millennium. The last time they made the playoffs was 1999.
And that says it all.
And Buffalo's a dump of a fucking city.
That says it all. So, yeah, that's why. Trust me, I'll flame him on the next segment. Man. So, all right, bro.
All right, man.
All right, yeah, we're going to get up out of here. Stay tuned, keep
everybody.
listening. I got the second part of the podcast with Lucas. We'll get into this idiot's fucking decision and more. So, yeah, man. Yeah, man, thank you for joining the podcast, man. Chink, thanks for coming through in the pinch, dog. We'll holler at you next week.
No problem.
Thanksgiving, man.
No problem. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe out there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Keep listening. We got the second half of the podcast coming up right now. Soldier City on the beat, boy.
City on the beat, boy.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's terrible.
How do you explain that? Like, what do you tell your fan base? What do you tell your fan base?
Give them the pity.
With a straight face, like, yo, we're trying to win? That's what you're gonna tell your fan base? Yo, we're trying to win. Like, we're legitimately trying to win. Really, nigga? Really? Y'all trying to win, huh?
Not with that motherfucker I seen out there on Sunday.
Damn sure ain't. Not with Nathan Peterman. Come on, son. Yo, if that nigga, I'm telling you, if that nigga was coaching in New York City right now, dog, they would be calling for his fucking head on site. On site. Like, nigga, don't get on the plane. And you know what's the most egregious shit? To start a young quarterback on the road.
Yeah, against one of the best pass rushers in the
league. Oh, my God.
They swallowed him.
On the road. It's egregious all ways you look at it. But at least if they threw him out there at home, you can mask it at least a little bit. On the road. On the road. Come on, son. You don't do that shit. You don't do that shit.
Said they wanted to see what the kid had, man.
On the road, though? On the road.
Man, we're going to see what the kid got.
On the road. That's terrible. Like, why would you even do that? That makes no fucking sense. So that's why that can't be I almost called him Doug McDermott again. That can't be Sean McDermott, man. That can't be his call. Because if that's his call, he should not be coaching in pro football right now. If that's your call, if you legitimately made that call, that you can't coach for my team. Not for my fucking team, you can't.
Yeah, I agree, man.
That's terrible, bro.
There's no arguments on this That's
I couldn't believe that shit. I just couldn't believe that shit. I was just like, whoa, this is ridiculous, man.
It's bigger than coaching there. I don't think that was Sean McDermott that was saying it from the beginning. I think it's from the GM, from the owner to the GM, how they don't, because they've always been talking about Tyrod Taylor's contract and how much he should get paid. He had that problem with beginning this year and off season last year, this year.
Yeah, I remember the whole situation.
Restructuring his contract. Now this is their way to get from underneath his contract, man. It just backfired. You're like, oh.
But most people would do that. But most people would do that shit if you're like 2-5. If they were 4-5, I could justify it. I could be like, well, you know, they're kind of middling. They're. Don't do that shit when you're 5-4. When you were previously 5-2. Okay, you lost 2 games in a row. You look bad in those games, but you're in the 6th seed. You're 5-2. Or you were 5-2. Like, don't do that then. I'm sorry. You can't sell me on that. Because if that's the case, why did you even bring him back last year to begin with? Just cut him. Cut him before the season started. Why even? See, this is my problem. Just cut him. Cut him and cut your losses and be like, you know what? We're going to suck. Be committed to sucking one way or another. But don't trot Tyrod Taylor out there, win 5 games, and then tell me, hey, well, shit, damn, nigga, we didn't expect you to be this good, nigga. Like, whoa. We got to slow this thing down. Marcel Darius, here you go. Out the window, you go. You know, Tyrod Taylor, back to the bench, you go. Like, no. The circumstance changed. That's it. It's over. You got to adjust, nigga. Like, nah, you a playoff team now. Now you thinking like a playoff team. Like Parcells says, you are what your record indicates that you are.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Redskins would have... See, you real cool about this shit, because I expected you to be outraged about that shit. Nigga, imagine if the Redskins would have pulled that shit.
No, I'm not... Yeah, I'm not cool about... I just understand why they're doing it. Like, you...
I understand why they're doing it. I get it. It's not that I don't get it. I get it. Trust me. I completely fucking get it. I understand.
Yeah, I'm not outraged at the fact... Yo, it's Buffalo. What do you expect? Like, it's Buffalo. Like, did you expect them to do something different? Like... I'm just not expecting them to do anything different. That's all. Like, nigga, the Dolphins signed Jay Cutler. I wasn't expecting them to do anything different. Like, I wasn't expecting them to get the best quarterback for the system that they run. No, I wasn't expecting them to go get Colin Kaepernick, who's clearly a better player. No, I expect them to fuck up and get Jay Cutler. And Jay Cutler doing exactly what the fuck he's doing.
Exactly.
Picks and smoking cigarettes.
When Matt Moore is a better quarterback option than you, there is a serious problem.
With certain franchises, you expect them to do certain things. Like, I expected this from Buffalo.
I don't know. And again, I'm not a Buffalo fan. I hate fucking Buffalo. I actually find this shit funny in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But
that's why I'm.
But I don't even know why it outraged me so much. I'm just like outraged by this shit. Like, I can't even imagine, as bad as dysfunctional as my franchise is sometimes. I can't even, first of all, New York would never allow them to pull no shit like that. Can you imagine he's putting that shit in New York? And the media would eat these niggas up. Gary Parrish, Bob Glauber, they would fucking rip these niggas a new one. So they would never allow these niggas to pull no shit like that.
Yeah, I agree, man.
But I don't know why it outraged me so much, because I was just like, because they fucked up all the way around. Like, there's not one redeemable quality about this decision. There's not one thing. You can't even leave this game. You can't even enter this week saying, well, you know, and then and that's another thing. For him to get on the podium on Monday, yesterday, and said that, yeah, there was some bad things, obviously, but we also saw a lot of good things. Really, nigga? What good things did you see from a 5-interception game? What did you see? Please, I'm dying. I know I'm not a coach. I've never coached football. I don't pretend to be fucking the second coming of Tom Landry. I don't pretend to be that smart when it comes to football and the machinations of coaching. But please explain to me, what did you see that was even remotely decent in a 5-interception game? Please, what did you see? Please tell me. I'm dying to know. I gotta know. Please tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. That shit is wild. That's some wild shit, man. That's some wild shit. Imagine if the Redskins pulled that shit off. Like, oh no, we're not gonna start Kirk Cousins. We're gonna play Colt McCoy. Nigga, what? And y'all 6-2. And y'all 6-2 in the 6th seed.
Shout out to Colt. I'm like, shout out to Colt McCoy, man.
Nigga, you wouldn't. You be ripping these niggas a new asshole.
Poor man's Brett Favre, man.
He a real poor man's Brett Favre. That nigga's a homeless man's Brett Favre. Oh my God, man. This weekend of college football, man. It's the last weekend, man. This is it. This is for all the marbles, right? You know, this weekend, man. You got Alabama and Auburn, the Iron Bowl. You got Michigan, Ohio State. You got, no, they don't got Bedlam this weekend. You got, what other big games are out there this weekend? Those are the two biggest games this weekend. Do you see...
Notre Dame, get your life together, man.
We got who?
Notre Dame and Stanford, nigga.
Notre Dame, they still got a team in South Bend, Indiana? They still got a team there? Hey, man, what?
Where is the break?
Hey, man, we're on a plane. We on a plane right now going to Orlando, Florida to get our next great head coach, man, Scott Frost. Shout out to Scott Frost, man. Hey, sign the contract, man. Don't make us wait that long, man. Don't make us wait that long, my nigga. Sign the contract.
So y'all wait for next year's head coach. Is that what you just said?
Hey, man, you know, it is what it is, man. I didn't make the rules. They just are what they are, man. It is what it is.
Last weekend of, like you said,
no, but what happened to Notre Dame, man? I thought they was in the national championship conversation.
We went to Miami, and them boys said,
I guess the convicts got in that ass, huh?
They said, hey, not today. No. Turnover changes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
These
my God.
motherfuckers came to play, didn't they? Like, you had a bunch of angry motherfuckers out there. Like, shit. It ain't the Catholic versus the convicts no more, nigga. This ain't the 80s. Calm down. They took that game way more serious than when Notre Dame took that shit. I tell you that. You seen that on the field. Like, god damn. It's a big game, but shit.
Yeah, y'all
niggas trying to save this energy for the playoff, nigga. Y'all just came out here just too hyped up. Miami played a hell of a game, man. You can't even down there. That was a fucking... Their defense is ferocious. But yeah...
I still don't think they're that great, though. I'm still not that impressed with them.
They're fast. They're quick. They're big. I mean, well, they're kind of small on the defensive line, but they're fast. They're quick, man. They're relentless. They shoot gaps. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, it is football season. Yeah, the playoff kind of takes it out of it. Like if you are in the top 6, kind of like, oh well, it could shake up, shake out. I don't like how the end of the year shakeout came so far with the top.
What you mean? Elaborate on that.
Like if you look at the top 6, I just had the rankings up, but
it's Alabama, Miami, because Miami jumped to Clemson tonight. So Alabama, Miami, Clemson, and Oklahoma.
Miami.
I don't understand that. I don't understand those fucking rankings at all. Oklahoma should be number 2.
Oklahoma, and then you have Wisconsin number 5, and then Auburn number 6.
I don't understand those rankings. I don't understand those rankings at all. But go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your point.
I understand that, like, if Wisconsin wins out, I think eventually they'll get in. But I just don't see how they aren't in the top 4 right now.
I agree. They should be in over Miami. They should be in there over Miami and Clemson.
Yeah, I don't see how Auburn's number 6. You know, of course, Auburn lost the Clemson. However, I mean, that was their one good loss, but they lost to LSU also. So
yeah, LSU beat them down though. LSU beat them up though.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying, but that's how I don't see how they're number 6. They should be.
Oh, you see it? You're questioning why they're number 6, like why they're that high.
Yeah, well, I know why, because if they end up beating Alabama, they
And they also beat the fuck out of Georgia when everybody was high and mighty on Georgia. And
I get that, but that don't vault you to number 6.
Hey, they got that's a good win. Give them credit, even though it was at home. That was a good win. That was a good win for them because everybody was high on Georgia.
It's not like you played top 25 teams all year. Like,
you're right. I agree with you.
No, I think the committee. The reason why they're number 6 is that if they beat Alabama, Alabama's getting this playoff one way or another. If they lose out, like that's the way it's set up. Like if Alabama loses to Auburn, they're like, well, they lost to the number 6 team.
Well, let's analyze that. Let's analyze that for a second. So Alabama plays Auburn this weekend. If Auburn beats Alabama, Auburn wins the fucking SEC West. They're going to Atlanta to play fucking Georgia, right? If let's say if Auburn wins, right? I think you would agree Auburn has to play in that Final Four, right? You would agree with that. If they beat Alabama and then they beat Georgia again a second time in 3 or 4 weeks, they got to play in that championship game, right? Or at least they got to play in the playoffs, right? They got to be in the playoffs. They have a spot secured in the playoffs.
No.
Why not?
Because you're not moving Alabama out the playoff.
But they lost. But they lost, though. They lost the game that they had to win.
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I agree with the premise of what you're saying. However, the committee's going to look at it like, well, Alabama only lost to Auburn. That's why Auburn's ranked so
But they didn't play. But see this.
That's why they're number 6.
But my problem with that is, then throw away your argument that you're putting stock in conference championships, because to me you can't take a one. I know they did it with Ohio State. So I know they did it with Ohio State. I just answered my own question. But I hated it when they did it with Ohio State, because to me, then don't tell me conference championships are important. Don't tell me conference championships are important. Why do we even have them? Don't tell me conference championships are important when you're going to put Alabama in over Auburn. So you're going to tell me and this is why I'm going to say
championships and we have so many games. Don't act like that. This is a money grab.
I understand it's a money grab. Luke, trust me. I understand the game. I get it. It's a money grab to the 10th power. I get all that. But my thing is this: you cannot tell me the game. I can make the case here. I can sit if I was sitting in that room with Condoleezza Rice and all those other motherfuckers who don't watch college football, because that whatever. Anyway, if I was sitting in that committee, I would say this: the game that Alabama had to win this year. The game that they had that was a must-win for them. Their first must-win game of the year. I know you can say LSU was their must-win game and USC at the beginning, but whatever. The real must-win game that they had to win was against Auburn in that Iron Bowl, and they lost. How are you going to sit there and tell Auburn you beat Georgia, the number 1 team, whether you think Georgia was a legitimate number 1 team or not? That's not part of the argument. They beat the number 1 team in the country. Beat them the fuck up. Beat them the fuck up twice, and you beat the powerhouse, the god of all gods, Alabama. And you're telling me that they don't make the fucking Final Four? They don't make the college football playoffs? How do you justify that?
You don't. I mean, just like you don't justify why Penn State didn't get in the playoff last year and Ohio State did. I mean, you don't. You just say, hey, man, shut the fuck up.
I don't think they would do that 2 years in a row. I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do, because I don't think they respect. I think they respect Auburn more than they even respected Penn State last year. Because you know those committees, the SEC, even though the SEC has been trash for the last 3 years, I think the perception and the stigma still carries that the SEC is the SEC. So I
disagree with you on that comment. I don't think the SEC's been trash the last 3 years.
Oh, the SEC's been trash. Luke, the SEC's been trash this year.
Pulling back into reality. No, they aren't trash. Let's get that out the window. Like,
I hear a lot of people. They're not trash?
No, the SEC is not trash. It's just they're evening out with the rest of the playing field.
Okay. Outside of Auburn, Alabama, and Georgia, who else is great in the SEC?
You can say that about any conference. Your top 3 teams. Name a conference with more than 3 great teams or good teams.
Oh, good teams? The Big Ten?
Name them. Ohio State can't throw the ball.
Ohio State, Penn State, Ohio State, Penn State. Let me. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. I'm answering it. Penn State, Ohio State. I know Michigan doesn't have a quarterback, but Michigan's still they're still a solid team. Wisconsin, Iowa. I just gave you 5 teams that are decent. 5 teams.
3 of them are trash. You can't say that. Like, I can say, well, LSU, Mississippi State. Listen, man, just because you're naming teams don't mean they're good. Ohio State is trash.
Okay, is Ohio State better than Alabama? No. Is Ohio State better than Georgia? Debatable. I would say no, but it's debatable. I would say no, but it's debatable. I would say no, but it's debatable.
It's not debatable.
It is debatable. It is debatable.
We're not going off the past. We're going off.
No, I'm not going off the past. I'm going off of what I've seen. Do I think Georgia's better than Ohio State? Yes, but I don't think it's a slam dunk one way or another. Like, oh yeah, Georgia. I mean, they're not even in the same league. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Is Ohio State better than Auburn? I would say no, but it's debatable.
No, it's not. You keep on.
Yes, it is. I would say no, but it's debatable. In a neutral field, is Ohio State in a neutral field? Forget home or on the road. In a neutral site, Auburn, Ohio State, who wins?
Auburn.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so
and I'm not an Ohio State fan.
I'm gonna just run down how the SEC stacks up. You have Alabama, which is a good team, a great team. Like you said, God of all gods. You have Auburn, you have Georgia, you have Mississippi State. Who else is really good in the SEC?
You think Mississippi State is good? Is Ohio State better than Mississippi State?
Is Ohio State? I don't know. That's a debatable. And that's
Luke. That's debatable.
Yes, it's debatable.
Get the fuck out of here. That's not debatable. That is not debatable.
You have.
You can't say that.
LSU, I think LSU is better than Ohio State.
Are you serious? LSU. You just told me that these teams don't have quarterbacks. LSU hasn't had a quarterback in 15 fucking years. You're telling me LSU's better than Ohio State?
And neither does Ohio State.
I agree. JT Barrett is not the apple of my eyes. I agree with you. But that being said, you cannot sit here and tell me that Mississippi State is better than Ohio State. That come on now. That's not fair. That's not fair.
They are.
No, hell no. Hell no.
I'm just telling you facts, man.
So Mississippi State is better than Wisconsin.
But Wisconsin's the best team in the Big Ten, though. Now, Wisconsin's the pride and joy of the Big Ten. So you just compared the number 5-6 team in the SEC to the number 1.
Talent-wise, Ohio State is the best team in the Big Ten. Talent-wise.
Oh, so if you just want to go head honcho to head honcho, there are no level with Alabama, just like no one else in the country, talent-wise.
Oh yeah, I mean that's not. I'm not making that. I'm not making that a central aspect of the argument. What I'm saying is,
No, you can't load your gun with your best bullet against someone's weakest bullet. One of their weakest bullet. Not their weakest bullet, but one of the lower chamber bullets. You can't just say, State has more talent.
But you gave me your lower chamber bullet. You just told me Mississippi State is better than Ohio State, and I'm like, how? What? In what way?
But to you, Ohio State's the cream of the crop in the Big Ten.
I don't. I've seen Ohio State play many a game this year. I don't think Ohio State's that great. I think talent-wise, they have obviously they have talented players on that team. But I don't. As a team, on paper, on the field, whatever you want to classify that as. Do I think Ohio State is great? No, I think they're very good, but I don't think they're great. I'm not sitting.
In the Big Ten period, there's no great team. There's a bunch of good teams in the Big Ten.
I don't think there's a great team in the SEC. I really don't. Can you outside of Alabama? I'll correct that. Outside of Alabama. I don't think there's a great team in the SEC. Is Georgia a great? Can you tell me with a straight face and tell me that Georgia's a great team?
Listen what you're saying.
Can you? I asked you, Luke. I asked you a question. Luke, I asked you a question. Can you answer my question?
If there's no great teams in any conference outside of Alabama being a great team, then the SEC's better than every other conference. You can't.
I disagree. I disagree. Okay. What I will say is the SEC is top heavy.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example. If you take who's the best team in the Big Ten right now, who do you believe has the most talent?
The most talent on paper?
Yeah, no, just the most talent. Period. Who's played this year?
I would say Ohio State on paper, talent wise.
Okay. We'll take Ohio State out of the equation. We're going to take Alabama out of the equation. If you put the rest of the SEC up against the rest of the Big Ten, and they play head to head, the SEC would kill the Big Ten.
I disagree. I completely disagree.
Georgia would run through any team in the Big Ten right now.
Georgia, Penn State, that's a close game. Georgia, Penn State is a close game.
If I didn't put it up the other day, I meant to put it up a couple of weeks ago. It was right after you made that comment about Saquon Barkley was the best running back that you
seen. Here you go. Go ahead. There you go.
Did he have those 3 games where he could rush over 40 yards?
Anyway, Georgia and Penn State, that's a close game. You cannot tell me that Georgia's running through Penn State.
Yes.
You're fucking crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. Penn State's a one-trick pony. Notre Dame is a one-trick pony, and Georgia barely beat them by 1 point. Georgia made their whole season by, they went up to South Bend and beat Notre Dame with Brandon Wimbush, who can't fucking throw the ball past 3 yards. But I'm supposed to believe that Georgia's this big-time team? Get the fuck out of here. When they went on the road, they got spanked by Auburn.
Who else is beating Notre Dame in
I don't care. Notre Dame is not that good.
What do you mean?
Notre Dame is not that good. We go through. I told you this a couple weeks ago. They always do this to Notre Dame. Notre Dame goes out to these hot starts, 5-0, 6-0. Oh my God, it's 1988 all over again. Call Lou Holtz. Notre Dame is back, and they end up getting skull drug in a big fucking game. Get the fuck out of here. Notre Dame's not that good. Notre Dame is not that good.
Hold on. Notre Dame lost to the number 2 and the number 7 team in the country this year. That's it. No. There you go with that deep side. Notre Dame had the toughest schedule in college football this year, hands down.
Because they won't commit to a fucking conference. That's why.
Be quiet while I speak, son.
Yeah, whatever, nigga.
8 top 25 teams this year. 8. Nobody's played more than 4. They played 8 already. And they have Stanford at the end of the year, who's another top 25 team, by the way. They lost 2 games. One to Georgia, which they came up there and they took that game in Notre Dame. In Indiana. They took it.
Yeah.
In South Bend. They took it. There's no quarrels about it. We went to Florida. Got skull drugged in Florida. The only bad loss of the season to the number 2 ranked team in the country. Don't downplay it now. Don't say, every time you get put in the big spot. Only big spot you seen us in was Alabama. We lost out. Nigga, everybody was getting crushed by Alabama that year. At least we were there. Nobody wasn't playing with them guys on steroids. Them was prison guards playing out there, man. You can't tell me them. That wasn't no 18-year-old.
Oh, my God.
Every grown man I know. So
I feel you.
Don't give me this. No. You ain't finna give it to me like this. You seen us in one bad spot, and then, of course, we just lost to Miami. It was in Miami. Shit happened.
Let's not forget y'all fucking gaggled against Texas last year in the first game. In the game of the century, everybody threw, Texas is back. Y'all gaggled against fucking Texas. What?
Who hyped that up as the game?
Everybody. Remember that crazy game at the beginning of last year's college football season? The Texas Notre Dame game on that month?
They hyped it up for the game of the century. We knew we were terrible last year.
Oh, okay. Y'all knew y'all was terrible. Y'all was still pinning y'all motherfucking hopes on Deshaun Kaiser. Fuck out of here.
Dude, where's Nebraska been the last 20 years?
This ain't about Nebraska.
You're silent.
But this isn't about Nebraska. That's an old cheap sports argument. Oh, where's your team at? That's not about that. It's not about that.
Isn't Nebraska Big Ten? Nigga, Kentucky can beat y'all right now.
Okay, they probably could. They probably could. But it's not about my team. It's not about my squad. It's not about them. Leave that argument alone. Because it's not about them. Get back to the crux of the argument. Get back to the crux of the discussion.
Your team plays in that conference. That's what I was talking about. I was getting back to it. Kentucky has always been a middling in the SEC. They will run through Nebraska right now.
They probably would. But that's not saying much. Because a lot of teams run through Nebraska. That's the point.
Probably. But they're part of the Big Ten. You're talking about top heavy.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna compare so now you want to compare the bottom of both conferences.
No, what I'm saying is all conferences are top heavy. All conferences are going to have your cream of the crop. Your 4 to 5 teams, whatever, 3 to 4, whatever it is, that's going to make the name for the conference.
Now, hey, I don't know why you got so offended. I don't know why you got so offended about me saying the SEC is trash. I think the worst conference in America, the worst Big 5 conference in America, is the ACC. I think the ACC is fucking trash.
Well, I don't think it is. I think the Big 12 is the worst conference in America. But
I think the ACC is fucking trash. Me personally, I think the ACC is fucking trash.
I think the Big 12 is trash. I think they can't play defense. Nobody can play defense.
Yeah, I agree with that. They can't play defense, but I still have more credibility in that conference than I do in anybody in the ACC besides Clemson.
Yeah, well, you can say that, but then if you have the reigning national champion, you really can't say that. Like, well,
I mean, you can't. Okay. So what you're saying is because Cleveland won the 2016 NBA championship, that the Eastern Conference is better than the Western Conference?
No, because that's just 2 conferences you're battling against. We're talking about a myriad of different. Now, if you were like, well, they're in the Southeast Division, whatever fucking division they're in, that division's better than what.
But you just told me that. Oh, I got to give the ACC credit because Clemson's the defending national championship. No, I don't.
Well, no, because That's a total different argument. That's apples and oranges. You can't just say.
But you said that. But you said that.
No, you said that.
No, you said that. You said, oh, they got the reigning defending national championship, so how bad can it really be? You said that.
No, I'm saying you can't say that another conference is better than someone who has the reigning national championship if you haven't won anything in the last 10, 15 years.
But I guess, but why can't I say that? Why can't I say that?
Because what has the Big 12 won? You have to prove. You prove on the field that you're a better conference.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with that. That's like, again, that goes back to the analogy I just made. That's like saying, well, Cleveland won the championship, so you can't say the Western Conference is better than the Eastern Conference.
You're taking a broader stroke. You're just saying.
I'm not taking a broader stroke. Okay, that's like saying. Okay, so that's saying that the Astros won the World Series this year, so the American League is clearly better than the National League. You can't say that.
Again, you're taking two divisions, and then college football is broken down into a Power 5. That's 5 different entities instead of 2. You see, you can't just you're just saying here or there. No, there's 5 different conferences, and you can't say this conference is better than that conference if your conference hasn't produced anything.
But I can say that because I can say the totality of my conference is better than the totality of your conference. Yes, Clemson is the best. Clemson is the best overall team, but I can make the case that they have an advantage of playing that scrub ass conference in the ACC as opposed to Oklahoma, where they might have to play Texas and Oklahoma State. They don't have to play that team.
So Texas and Oklahoma State are.
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying, I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about your argument that you just put it to me. Do I think the Big 12 is great? No, I don't think the Big 12 is great. I don't. I think they're I think they're better than the ACC, in my opinion. You may not agree with it, but I think they're better than the ACC.
Neither does anybody else in this world.
Outside of Clemson, and to be nice, I'll give you Miami. To be nice, I'll give you Miami. Outside of Clemson and Miami, who else in that conference is great?
I appreciate you giving me the number 2 ranked team in the country.
I don't think they're that. I don't think they're great, but whatever. For the sake of argument, I'll give you Clemson and Miami. Who else in that conference is great? NC State, maybe.
So who in the Big 12 outside of Oklahoma is good?
I think Oklahoma State is a solid team.
No, you fucking crazy.
If Oklahoma State and NC State, if Oklahoma State and NC State, if Oklahoma State,
I don't want to hear it.
If Oklahoma State and NC State met right now in a neutral site, Oklahoma State will run the fuck through them. You know, you and I both know this.
You said all this to prove a point. That's
now,
what you're doing, man.
I'm trying to prove a point. No, I'm telling you what I feel. You may not agree with it, but I'm telling you what I think.
That's your gun in the bullet, Oklahoma State. That's your one. Oh man, Lord Jesus.
Hey man.
Oh man.
Okay. Iowa. To me, Iowa State is better than anybody out not named Miami or Clemson.
I need to call Steph and tell her. Oh,
hey man, do what you got to do, bro.
I'm gonna have to get up on Facebook.
Do what you got to do, bro. Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do, man. So
I'm gonna have to tell the wife, man, you gonna make sure he go to the doctor to get his pills, man.
So in a neutral site, Iowa State and NC State, who wins?
Ooh, NC State.
You're fucking tripping. You're tripping. It's 49-31. I agree. I agree. Iowa State gonna give up 31 points. I agree with you, but they're gonna win. They're gonna run through NC State, bro. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna run through NC State. TCU, and NC State in a.
TCU. But nigga, Trevon Boykin still go to TCU or something? Like, you got is they paying you? Is the Big 12 paying you? Hey, y'all, we got sponsorship now.
Oh, my God. Hey, I have no fucking rooting interest in the Big 12, man. I'm just pointing out the obvious, man. To me, it's the obvious. Why can't you see this shit?
He's not the Big 12, man. He ain't even cutting me in. That's why I stopped talking bad to him if you give me my check.
Why can't you? All right, why can't you see what I'm talking about here, man? It's clear as day to me, man.
Mike Gundy still has a mullet. I never trust nobody with a mullet, B. Like, nah, B, you just
Oh my God.
You almost say he still got a mullet. You told me something they gonna beat somebody? Yo, he can't even beat up his barber for giving him that terrible ass haircut. Like, yo, no, get out of here, man. Oh man, shout out to Dez Bryant, man. He went to Oklahoma State.
Oh
man.
my God.
Cowboys, man.
Anyway.
Let's get the
Let's center this conversation back. Let's center this conversation right before we get out of here. Let's center this conversation back to my original point. So, okay, so you think Alabama's going to beat Auburn this weekend?
All right, back to that. For the sake of argument, I'm going to say no because I just want to see an upset. I'm angry because Notre Dame's not in the playoffs.
It's okay, I understand.
I want to see everybody lose.
I understand.
I want to see everybody fucking lose. I don't care. I want all this shit to be fucked up right now. But my heart says I want Auburn to win, but my mind says Alabama's going to roll. So I'm in a torn here. I'm at an impasse. I'm at an injunction. I really want Auburn to win this game. I would feel so good in my heart if Auburn, the War Eagles, took down Alabama. However, my brain saying, Alabama ain't losing. So I'm gonna go Alabama.
I'm gonna go Auburn, man. I think that I wasn't too high on Auburn. I was like, Auburn's it's another year where Auburn's going to be 8-3, and they're going to be just good enough, but not good enough to beat the big teams. But that performance against Georgia. Now, again, I don't think Georgia's great, but I think Georgia's very good. Mm-hmm. That performance against Georgia opened my eyes because they dismantled Georgia. They didn't beat Georgia the fuck up. I mean, they dismantled them. They took their manhood.
Do you have the 3 weeks? Do you have that 2 out of 3 weeks?
Whatever. Anyway.
Exactly. I'm not stating it. I'm just asking.
Okay.
I want Auburn.
You can act, hey, whatever. Anyway, so Auburn. So besides our predictions, you think that if Auburn beats Alabama, right, and if let's say they beat Georgia again, Auburn still doesn't make it, Alabama makes it.
I think Alabama's getting in regardless.
Okay, so let's play this out a little bit, right? I know we're a little premature, a couple weeks until this is fully set in stone, but let's just say we have all the power in the world, right? If Alabama, let's say Auburn beats Alabama this weekend and then beats Georgia, right? Alabama's out of the fucking SEC championship game because they can't play because they didn't win their division. Let's say, for the sake of argument, Wisconsin wins out, Michigan beats Ohio State, but Ohio State still got a ticket to the fucking Big Ten championship game, and Wisconsin beats Ohio State, Oklahoma wins out,
okay,
Clemson wins out, and then, of course, the result with Auburn and Alabama. Who's your top 4?
This is how they're going to do it. Because if Clemson wins out, that means they beat Miami.
Yeah.
Miami will...
So Clemson's going to be in. Yeah. Clemson's going to be in
because they went out. That's the way it's set up. Whoever wins the ACC is in. However, they have it set up the way that if Alabama happens to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Alabama's going to stay in. Because you're not going to say, okay, Oklahoma's one loss and Alabama one loss. If Auburn ends up winning the fucking SEC, they're going to be like, well, they lost the SEC champion, or however that may work out for them. I don't see Alabama getting out of the top 4, even with the loss.
Okay.
They will slide down. Now, I get it. Somebody's going to be shorthanded on the Oklahoma, Wisconsin, because you're saying Wisconsin wins out also, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So somebody's going to be slighted on the Oklahoma, Wisconsin end of the deal.
So right now you got Clemson. Wisconsin.
No, right now in the playoff you have Alabama 1, Miami 2, Clemson 3, Oklahoma 4. Now, if everything plays out the way you just said it,
right?
Alabama loses, they'll be slid down to number 4. Clemson wins. They beat Miami, so they'll jump to number 1.
Okay.
Miami slides down to number 5. Oklahoma slides up to number 2. And then it's between Auburn, basically, and Wisconsin. And that's where you're going to have the mischief. Are you going to say Auburn doesn't get in because they beat Georgia, who was number 1, then Alabama was number 1. Then they beat Georgia again. Or are you going to say, Wisconsin gets in because they're undefeated and they're conference champions? And that's the argument you're having. You can't tell me Wisconsin.
Okay, so if I put I put a gun in your head right now, and you have to take one of those 2 teams, who are you taking?
I take Wisconsin because I think a conference championship has to mean something. If we're sitting there
but the scenario I just played out, Wisconsin and Auburn both win their conference championships.
Yes, exactly, and Wisconsin gets in and I'm saying that because you're allowing Alabama to get in from the SEC.
But see that to me is where your point of view falls apart for me, because I don't think they'll take. If Auburn loses this weekend, or if Alabama loses this weekend, I think they need help to get back into the playoffs, because I think they fall. Let me finish my point. And then you can rip it apart as you may wish. If Alabama loses this weekend, right? Obviously, I think so let's play it out. If Alabama loses this weekend and Auburn wins out, Auburn's gonna make the final. They're gonna do it. I'm not seeing them taking Auburn out. There's no way. They're not taking Auburn out after they beat Georgia, Alabama, and then Georgia again in a month. They're not doing that. If Clemson wins out, Clemson's in. That's 2. To me, if Wisconsin wins out, that's 3. So now it comes down to Oklahoma and Alabama. And it comes down to, do you believe Oklahoma? Because Oklahoma went to Ohio State. Now, you can say whatever you want about Ohio State. Oklahoma did beat the fuck out of Ohio State in Columbus. That's hard to do. I don't care how great you are. That's hard to do. Are you taking Oklahoma or are you taking Alabama? To me, if Oklahoma wins the Big 12, say what you want about the Big 12, they've got to take the Big. I don't think they'll screw the Big 12 2-3 years in a row. They're going to have to take the Big 12 because you can make the case Oklahoma had the best win any team had this year on the road in Columbus. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to whether they take Alabama, a team who didn't play in their conference championship game, or Oklahoma. That's going to be the debate. It's going to be Ohio State versus Baylor and TCU all over again from the few years ago. Now, the cynics, like you, like me to a certain extent, will say, oh, they're definitely going to take Alabama because Alabama versus Oklahoma, they're going to take Alabama. Although it's not that much of a disparity because they're 2 big-time powerhouse programs. So it's not like it's, but it's. I think they would still. I think if they're trying to sell tickets and ratings, they're going to take Alabama over Oklahoma. But it's not a slam dunk like it's comparing Alabama to TCU or Alabama to fucking Baylor. That's my point. Because Oklahoma has a major following just as well. That being said, I don't think they will shaft the Big 12 again. If they do, that's fucked up. If they do, that's fucked because they got away with doing that 3-4 years ago because they said we can't respect the Big 12 because they don't have a conference championship game. That was their purpose basically.
Uh-huh. I remember.
So then after 4 years and the Big 12, and they added two teams. So after all of that, I think they added one team. Did they add one team or 2 teams? They added teams anyway, basically.
They added 2 teams.
They added 2 teams, yeah. Yeah, they added 2 teams. So after all of that, we added 2 teams, and we got a fucking conference championship game, and you're going to tell us that you can't fucking take us in the playoffs when we basically did everything that we were supposed to do? How do you justify that?
Yeah. We don't. Just like you didn't justify why you got Ohio State and not Penn State when Penn State beat Ohio State. There's no rhyme or reason. They're going to say, well, Alabama's a better team. At the end of the day, they're going to say, well, we thought Alabama was a better team. And Alabama is a better team than Oklahoma. Like, they're going to say, we put it, that's going to be...
But if they do that...
They're going to say, this is what they're going to say. And be prepared for it.
I know what they're going to say. And I'm going to fucking flame them on this show and anywhere else. Because if that's the case, then get rid of conference championships. Don't put conference championships in. Just take the 4 best teams in Europe. You might as well just bring back the BCS and let the BCS pick the 4 best teams. Because
you couldn't do the BCS. The BCS had an algorithm that you couldn't understand. And that one year when they screwed Miami, when everybody was like, well, put somebody in the championship game that Miami clearly beat.
Yeah.
Like, why are they even in
but what I'm saying is let the fucking computer algorithm choose the 4 best teams. Because at this point your structure of what you got in this college football playoff has completely fallen apart. Because if you're going to take a team that didn't play in their conference championship but then reward the other conference championship teams, then what is...
They already did it.
I know, and I flamed them that year because I said, okay, then why are you taking conference championships? Don't take conference championships. Just tell me who you think your 4 best teams are and put them in the playoffs.
I totally agree.
Because if that's the case...
About the 4 best teams, USC should have been in last year. Because at the end of the year, nobody was playing better football than
I agree. And Penn State should have been in there.
Yeah.
Because to me, last year Washington and Ohio State had no business being in the college football playoffs. It should have been Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, and USC.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I could justify a little bit UW, but I can't justify Ohio State.
No,
but if that happens, they're gonna get flamed, and I'm gonna flame them because that's fucked up. And again, I have no rooting interest against the fucking Big 12. I have no stake in the game, so that's fucked up because they basically because
besides their fan. The Big 12 is paying this guy, man. I'm telling you.
Whatever, man.
Keep the light bill.
I'm not a fucking Big 12. If anything, I'm a Big 10 guy. But whatever. If that's the case, Whatever, man. If that's the case, you fucked over a conference that did everything that you told them you wanted them to do. It's like the selection committee when they don't take fucking South Wenatchee State because they didn't play a great non-conference schedule, and then the next year they scheduled Duke, Kentucky, Connecticut, and fucking UCLA, win 2 out of the 4 games, and then you tell them, well, we still don't think your schedule is strong enough. Motherfucker, we just did what you told us to do. That's my thing. But it's going to be interesting. Real quick, my prediction, I think this weekend, Auburn wins, and I have a funny feeling Michigan's going to beat Ohio State.
Yeah, and then Notre Dame's going to roll Stanford. Go beat.
No, I think Stanford's going to beat Notre Dame. I think so. I think Bryce Love's going to run all over y'all motherfuckers.
But Bryce Love got one leg. We ain't worried about Bryce Love.
All right. That one leg about to get in that ass. I know that.
Last time you endorsed a running back, it didn't go too well. I'm endorsing people, man.
Okay. Touche, man.
You mainly curse.
So they lost to Ohio State because of fucking because they lost because of Saquon or because their defense fucking choked in the fourth quarter.
And because Saquon ain't show up, motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
What was it?
All right, nigga, he the first play of the game. He returned it for a fucking touchdown. What are you talking about?
I need him in the run game.
Touche. But don't say he didn't show up. He played well. He played well enough.
So you told me he was the best running back. You ain't tell me he's the best punt return or kickoff return.
Okay. Hey man, touche, man. Touche. That's what's up, man. Touche. That's you got the argument, man. You got the argument. I can't say nothing. You're right, man. You're right. Bravo, my nigga. You got it.
This is the first time he ever gave up on an argument in life.
Hey man, I will admit Saquon, it's not looking too good for Saquon, man. It's not looking too good for Saquon, man. Fouls of the week, man. Our favorite little segment here. I'll let you start first, sir, since you've been letting this fester for long enough, man. And I want you to get it off your chest because it's not healthy to keep this shit inside of you like that, man. So I want you to get this out of your chest real quick. Go ahead, flame them, or you might surprise me and go the other way with it. Go ahead, man. Get this off your chest, man. Go ahead. Your floor is yours, sir. I'll sit back and watch, man. I'll sit back and watch. Go ahead. The floor is yours, man.
Fouls of the week, man. All right, let's get to it, man. As many people know, I'm a die-hard Redskins fan. I bleed the burgundy and gold, man. Born and raised in Washington, D.C. Ain't no difference in me, man. I don't know no difference, man. So, my foul of the week is obviously the Washington Redskins and blowing a 15-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Not only is it the blame lies on the Washington Redskins, but Kurt motherfucking Cousins, as we like to call him in DC, Captain Kurt. What the fuck? If you guys didn't see the game, like if you're not a Redskins fan or you aren't a Saints fan and you don't really have things invested into the game, we're up 15. It was less than 4 minutes ago. It was like 3 minutes and some change. And we blow a 15-point lead. And it's not all just on Kirk Cousins because we should have ran the ball. Terrible coaching. Run down the clock. But we tried to run the clock down. And we got stopped. Gave the ball back. Didn't let them come down and score another touchdown with the 2-point conversion. Then we get the ball back. And this is where it comes on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, you want to be the highest paid quarterback in football. You want to be called amongst the elite. When you got that last drive with a minute and some change to go, you have to cash in. You made 2 beautiful throws. Not 2 beautiful throws. Jamison Crowder made 2 beautiful catches and got us in field goal range. And if you didn't watch the game, it was 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. And Kirk Cousins takes the snap, and he throws on a high read. Both receivers on the right side were doing quick slants. You throw the ball outside the numbers. It had to be he was in shotgun, so we took 2 steps and just flung that motherfucker out of bounds for no fucking odd reason. And we got an intentional grounding. There was no pressure around Kirk Cousins. There was no heat. There was nothing. He literally just threw the ball out of bounds. Intentional grounding. We got taken out of field goal range. And on the very next play, Kirk Cousins gets sacked. I think it was a strip sack. We get the ball back, and then we go to overtime. And I was thinking in my fucking head, what the fuck are you doing, Kirk Cousins? You want to get paid $30 million. I want to be amongst the elite. I want to get paid with the Drew Breeses, the Tom Brady's, the biggest contract at 27. Derek Carr makes 25. But I'm going to name the people that come after Kirk Cousins that I would have rather had Sunday in the clutch moment. Aaron Rodgers makes $22 million a year. Russell Wilson makes $21.9 million a year. Ben Roethlisberger makes $21.8 million a year. Eli Manning makes $21 million a year. Phillip Rivers makes $20 million a year. Cam Newton, $20 million. Matt Ryan, $20 million. Tom Brady, $20 million. The before hits, Ryan Tannehill, $19 million. You belong in the class with Sam Bradford, Brock Osweiler. Nigga, Alex Smith makes $17 million a year, and I would have took Alex Smith on Sunday. However, Kirk Cousins, too many times in too many big spots, you've made the same mistake over and over again. You've either thrown an interception, you made a bonehead play, and it lies on your shoulders every week. If you want the money, you have to make the big plays. That's how it goes. That's how it goes, Kurt. You can't show up when you want to. You can't throw in the cape when you want to. You got to throw in the cape in the fourth quarter. You get paid because you produce in the fourth quarter. As the great Michael Jordan once said, it ain't how you start and play during the game. It's how you finish. Kirk Cousins, you ain't the finisher. You not. It's my Washington Redskins franchise. If it comes down this year to signing him, and I know we don't have anything else to fall back on. The big thing's like, well, where y'all gonna go to? Shit, we ain't going to nothing now. I'm tired of being 8-8. I'm tired of being mediocre. Either you good in this league or you fucking terrible. That's all there is. There's no in between. You can't keep missing the fucking playoffs and saying, well, that's good enough. Well, we had Gus Farrat before. He's Schuler. It's a big upgrade. No, it's fucking not. It's the same fucking thing. Same shit, different pot. That's all it is, man. They just got better window dressing on it now. That's all it is. So if you ain't winning, you losing. Ricky Bobby, you ain't first, you last. And that's how we feel. We fucking last. Now, with that said, whenever I get on Kirk Cousins, he does some remarkable shit. And I'm hoping this goes this way. We're going to go on a 6-0 run. Watch, these last 6 games, he's going to win all 6.
Oh, come on, Luke, stop.
And we're going to fuck around and pay him $30 million. And we're going to be stuck with this shit for the next 5 years. Trust me, I seen the schedule. I was just looking at the schedule earlier when we're talking about it. He can easily go 6-0 with these last 6 games. It's doable. We have the Giants twice. We have the Cowboys without Zeke Elliott. Who else? We can go 6-0. Like, I don't think we have a game where it was like, this one's going to be a tough one. This one is going to be a head scratcher. We have the Giants twice. We have the Cowboys. We have the Cardinals. We have the Broncos. We know the Broncos ain't playing shit this year. And we have the Chargers. The Chargers is the only.
Not with Paxton Lynch.
Exactly. They can't score to save their lives down there in Denver. So we have a schedule that's favorable. Where we go this Thursday, we got the Giants. The following Thursday, we have the Cowboys without Zeke. We have the Chargers December 10th. We probably can, that's going to be the iffy game. Then you have the Cardinals. We can beat the Cardinals, I hope. The Broncos, and then we end with the Giants. He's going to fuck around and go 6-0. And everybody's going to forget about the clutch and Kirk Cousins. We're going to fuck around, make the playoffs, get an early first-round exit, and then we're going to be stuck with this motherfucker for $30 million. And he isn't clutch. That's just going to happen.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
We're in fucking quarterback limbo right now. We're in quarterback fucking limbo. Kurt, either you got it or you don't, man. Stop making these bonehead plays, man. You're great for 3.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden you turn into goddamn Gus Farrat. I'm like, who the fuck is playing quarterback right now? Like, where the fuck did that other guy go? Like, where did he go? Go get him. Go find this Kenneth Spears or some shit. Find that man and bring him back. Because the fourth quarter comes on, this motherfucker turns into Blake Bortles. And I'm like, what the fuck did just happen? What just happened? I don't know where the fuck Kirk Cousins just went. He went in the booth and he came out goddamn Peterman out this motherfucker. It's just, I don't know what's going on with this motherfucker. So Kurt, let's get it together, man. You want the money. You ain't going to San Francisco now. The motherfuckers got their quarterback. You ain't got no place to go, motherfucker. Get your shit together. You want all this goddamn money. You gotta stop playing like it, baby. It's just a motivational speech. Don't get upset. No, play for what you worth. This contract negotiation. You can't go in negotiations goddamn 6 and 10 telling someone I want $30 million. From who? From where? Nigga, Aaron Rodgers only getting 22 and you want 30. Get the fuck out of here. That's all I got, man. You're gonna get me upset. I'm not trying to yell.
That's it, man. That's it, man. That's all you got, man. I thought it was this was quite reserved by you, man. I'm actually proud of you, man.
Because I still need them for 6 more weeks. That's why.
Yeah, especially with those lofty fucking expectations you got going on over there. Talk about 6-0. Whoa.
Hey, man.
Are you watching the same team I'm watching? Because I don't know. That's a hell of a fucking prediction, my nigga.
Yeah, man. 6-0, man. These last 6 games.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, man. If your lips to God's ears, for your sake, man. Your lips to God's ears, my nigga. My foul of the week, man, goes to Baker Mayfield.
Oh,
What?
the bad guy.
The bad boy of college football, as they like to say. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Like, we talked about common sense and having a brain earlier. Like, we talked about it. Obviously, our president doesn't have a common sense and a brain. Obviously, those 3 idiots in UCLA don't have a fucking brain. What the fuck are you doing? You currently have the world at your fingertips right now. A lot of your draft buzz is growing. A lot of NFL GMs are saying that Baker Mayfield, which I think they're wrong, by the way, but Baker Mayfield is a guy that could go in the first round. That a lot of people are talking about him maybe going top of the draft, maybe not first 1 and 2, but he's in the discussion for top 15 picks. Obviously, you're leading the Heisman Trophy race. Your team is in the national championship, conversation, and you pull a stunt like that on national TV. Why? Why, my nigga? Like, why? What was your motivation when you did that? And I understand the kid is young. He's 21, 22 years old, something like that. Young. Again, not that far removed from that age. I've done stupid shit at that age. Well, Lord knows I did stupid shit at that age. But what the fuck are you doing, my nigga? Why? You're hurting yourself with these fucking behavior. Not to mention, this is the same guy that in February got arrested for public intoxication. Let's not forget about that. Let's not bury that lead, okay? This is the same guy that got arrested for public intoxication. All right? So, again, I asked the question, what the fuck are you doing? And somebody asked me, is this a double standard? Like, if this kid was a black quarterback, would he face more criticism than Baker Mayfield is getting? And I don't know how to answer that because it depends on the situation. It depends on who the quarterback is. If the quarterback is Tommy Armstrong from Nebraska back in the day, no, probably not. He probably gets thrown to the wolves. But if the black quarterback is Terrell Pryor, maybe? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just, for the sake of this discussion, I'm going to leave race out of it for a change. And I'm going to say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I feel like you're being fucking retarded, my dude. You're being dumb as fuck. Like, why are you risking millions of dollars? And is this and in the grand scheme of things, is this a big deal? No, probably not. Tom Brady does way worse shit on the sidelines and he's a fucking pro. I get it.
Doesn't, man. Don't. You just a hater.
I'm a hater. We're gonna forget that Tom Brady basically ripped Bill O'Brien a new one, and Bill O'Brien had to punk his ass real quick in the sidelines. Like, who the fuck you think you talking to, nigga? Josh McDaniels, my nigga? Nah, nigga, I slapped the shit out you, nigga. That's how the conversation really went. But anyway, back to my foul of the week, man. I'm almost done. But Baker, you got to be smarter than that. And I don't want to see apologies with tears in them and crocodile tears in them. I don't want to hear that. But what I will say, but see, you asked me a question about, or not you, but somebody I know asked me a question about double standards. And if this guy was black, I'm going to go beyond that. Forget the race. Just imagine if this was Grayson Allen playing for Duke and he does that. The rapture would occur. The world will literally split apart and it'd be 2012, like the movie, all over the fucking end. Like that shit, the world would literally break. The earth will cease to spin on its axis and rotate on its axis and revolve around the sun. And the world as we know it would completely just cease to exist if that was Grayson Allen. And am I lying?
Yes.
You're full of shit, but whatever. Baker Mayfield. Yeah, all right. He's balling right now. Player of the year candidate right now. But anyway,
yes.
But Baker Mayfield, man, what the fuck are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Can somebody in that program talk to this man? I know Bob Stoops can't do it no more. Lincoln, dear Lincoln Riley, it's time that you sat down with your quarterback and had a long, hard talk with him. Like, hey, Baker, whatever the fuck you think you are, whoever the fuck you think you are, if you're trying to channel your inner Johnny Manziel, stop. Because you're fucking yourself up right now. That's my foul of the week. Baker Mayfield.
Shout out to Baker Mayfield.
A fucking idiot.
He's Generation X, man. You doing what you doing, baby.
Oh, Shawn Michaels in the building.
Sometimes you gotta grab that shit. Let them know you a man, baby.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Give me something to talk about for the week. Shit. Shout out to Baker.
Shout out to Baker, man.
Keeping it real. They should have shook your hand. They wouldn't have got all that.
I feel you.
They done learned their lesson.
We gonna get up out of here, man. We're gonna get up out of here, man. Thanksgiving is this week. So, as always, happy Thanksgiving to everybody that listens to the show, everybody across the world, not all over the world, because only America celebrates Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, man. Have a blessed holiday. Enjoy it with your friends, with your families, man. Be safe. Not too much of a Thanksgiving clapback for everybody out there. So yeah, man, just have a happy, safe holiday, man. As always, thank you for listening, for subscribing to the show, for supporting the show. We wouldn't be able to do this without y'all. Trust me, we would not. It's hard to have two, sometimes one, sometimes three motherfuckers talking to nobody. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for downloading, man. As always, appreciate it. If you're a fan of this show, keep subscribing, keep downloading, keep listening. Follow us on Twitter at DTF Podcast 1. Follow me on Twitter at DManuelBrown. And follow the Facebook page as well, The Technical File Podcast on Facebook. And just keep supporting the show. And of course, the show is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. All of the podcasting services out there, we're on there everywhere, man. So there's no excuse to say you can't listen to us because we're everywhere. So listen, subscribe, man. Everywhere, we're available everywhere, man. As always. And if you like what you're listening to, you like the show. I say this every week, man. Go drop us a review on iTunes. We need those reviews on iTunes. So drop us a review on iTunes. If you like what you're hearing, let the world know that you're a fan of the Technical File Podcast, man. That's it. Luke, you got anything for the listeners before we go, man?
I don't know, man. You said it all, man. Like you just said, man. Thank you guys for listening, for subscribing, commenting. You said it all, man. We appreciate you guys. We can't do this, like you said, we can't do this without you guys. We appreciate it. From you listen to 1 minute or a whole damn show, we appreciate it. We just two guys up here talking about sports, sometimes three guys, like you said. We just appreciate the support, man. So continue to do the great things you guys do. You think it's awesome, put it on to somebody else. Maybe they'll think it's good also. Maybe they'll think it's trash. It's up to them, man. But the more you help us, the more we're grateful. And we just appreciate it, man. We just appreciate it. So, for one half of the dynamic duo, holler at you guys next week. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Even though I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm lying. Yes, I do. Black, I eat free food all the time.
Hell yeah, nigga.
But, be safe out there, man. Even though I got to work on Thanksgiving, please, like I tell people, man, I done moved to a cool shift now. I'm on a morning shift. Don't do no fucked up shit on Thanksgiving. I don't want to see nobody, man.
You don't want to have to play Captain America. You don't want to have to play Captain America, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, tell him.
Do my job on Thanksgiving, man. Stay in the house. Eat your food with your family. Enjoy the company, man.
It's Thanksgiving. You shouldn't be turning up on Thanksgiving anyway. It's Thanksgiving, nigga. Like, stay home. Watch a movie, nigga. Drink some eggnog.
People turn up all the time. I just don't want to see you, man. Because if you commit a crime, you're gonna see me in the Washington State or in the King County area. Please.
Word.
I don't want to see you on Thursday. I just want to go home and have Thanksgiving with my family. That's all.
That's what's up. Respect, man. So yeah, man. Please listen to that, man. Don't give him a lot of work on Thursday, man. Be safe. Have fun. As always, have fun. Don't clap back on the family members too much, but have fun. Be safe. Eat some good food, man, and enjoy your family's company, man. Don't get too lit during Black Friday shopping. And just have fun, man. Be safe. Enjoy the weekend. We got some good college football games this weekend, so stay home, enjoy that, and just chill, man. We'll be back next week with another episode of the podcast. Like I said before, thank you for supporting. Thank you for subscribing. Keep listening. Follow us on Facebook, The Technical File Podcast. I'm not going to repeat everything. Y'all know what the fuck y'all need to do. Keep listening. Keep supporting, man. Shit. Keep listening. Keep supporting. Oh, follow me on Snapchat. My shit is lit. Follow me on Snapchat, MannyBro15. I'm hot. My shit is lit. Follow.
See, he hot in these streets.
Yeah, we hot. We hot, man.
If the greens ain't good for Thanksgiving, get your grandmama to Baker Mayfield, man. Just go ahead and this shit is trash. And walk out the kitchen.
Yo, we out, man. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We out. Peace.